For Arteta, I think everyone understands and has appreciated for a while that the squad's okay. Can he find a new way of winning games? And winning games that, on paper, he shouldn't be winning? I love that interview. Go on, let's do that. Sol Campbell, perfect. Welcome everyone to the James and Flav for Now podcast. It's let me know if you can hear us all right, because I've had a few problems with that. But Sol Campbell is being interviewed for the vacant, and it is vacant, Sunderland job. And we know his punditry is just like top tier stuff. But how would he get on in that interview?
He'd go, well, so the people that don't know, Sol Campbell has a very weird way of answering every question when he's on Match of the Day. It's like he says so many words without saying a single thing. It's incredible. So this would be a bit of a demonstration, what it'd be like. So he sits down in the Sunderland.
I'll ask you the questions. Go on then. Hi Sol, thanks for coming in. You've long drive?
Well, I got in the car. And it's a lovely car, a Mercedes A-Class. So I drove, and I came, and I guess I'm coming to this interview. So yeah, it was a good drive.
Thanks, Sol. So we're obviously having a bit of a struggle here at Sunderland at the moment. A couple of documentaries which we won't go into because they're pretty embarrassing. But we've had some tough times. How do you see us turning around? What will be sort of your plan for that?
You've got to. What I would be concentrating on is making sure that we can turn around, and making sure that if there is an attempt to score a goal, that we are scoring goals. And it's important that Sunderland do score goals, and that strikers score goals, and the defenders, they support the defending of the game. Strikers
scoring goals. Thank you. And we're conceding a lot. Conceding a lot as well. Obviously, one of the greatest centre backs of your generation. I'm really excited to see what kind of visionary tactics and thoughts that you might be able to bring to sort of help with the defence. What thoughts on that one?
No, they are defenders, but are they? They are defenders, and they do defend. And I used to defend, and it's an important aspect of the game. And I'll focus on. If it was me, if I get the job, I'd focus on them becoming defenders again.
Well, thanks, Sol. Thanks for coming on. It's been a long drive. I don't want to keep you too long. Make sure you can get back. Don't want to miss out on the traffic. I'll let you go. Do you think as well that once he leaves, you go, so Sol, right, let's go. So Gus Poyet, we've gone with Gus. Ian Dow, he's having a go at this. Kirbishley, 33-1 apparently. And Sol Campbell's. What about his interview, guys? What do we think about him? And everyone will be like, we didn't say anything bad. So you might have a chance. You never know.
You didn't sabotage.
How are you, mate? Because we've got to get into the game of the season for Spurs fans at some stage. We're going to be talking about Arsenal Spurs, which I presume. I'm always. Do you know what's weird? In the podcast that you do with one of your best mates, I feel like, can I ask him about Arsenal Spurs? Because he's probably been talking about it all week.
Have.
Yeah. But, and I'm like, do you know what would be great? It'd be great if I could get 10 minutes out of him talking about it. That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. Just so I can get myself a title. We'll get into it. Man United, we might need a bit of man glue, by the way. Let us know. I've got quotes of the pod. We've got comment of the week. We've got some wow takes. We've got some calm takes. We've got some derby games. Smiv coming to the fore again with that. And we've got, and then I have somewhat of an update with the Sonny situation. I don't know if Sonny's in the chat. Is Sonny in the chat? I can't see him there at the moment. Thank you to all our patrons. Patrick, Rab, Louis, Rab Summers, Dennis is here, Ollie is here, Catherine's here. So thank you all. And if you want to join us, we have a mailbag that we do each week. And actually, that's the other thing I want to say. We put together a video called The Hunger Games. We answered the question, if every Premier League manager went into a Hunger Games, what would occur? It's bizarre, but it's a good video. So if you've got a decent sense of humour and you want to check that out, that is on the channel right now. And if you want to be a patron and be part of that, there is a link in the description.
If it's the first time you've ever watched this podcast, all of that will make sense if you keep watching.
Yeah.
If you're just here for the football, the Arsenal bit, watch that bit, but stick around because you could be part of one of the greatest communities on YouTube.
I was talking about Man Glue there because Man United obviously lost 3-1 against PSG, Flav.
If you do that.
What was that?
If you stick around, you become a slug. That will also make sense.
That will also make sense.
Man Glue, Man United, go ahead.
Yeah, I think now's the time we've got to stick with them. 3-1. The Champions League groups are pretty tasty now. They've got 9 points, as has PSG, as has RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig play Man United in the last game. The Piranhas are out, but we're not having it. We're backing our boy Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The guy's a saint. The guy's a purist. The guy's a footballing genius. And Man United are in safe hands here right now. For any Man United fans who are a little bit nervous, Flav, can you just explain to them that they should?
Yeah, I can. It's really easy. If you win your game in hand against Burnley, if that happened this week and you won, you'd be third in the league.
Hello.
So there is no issue.
There is no issue. But if they go out of the Champions League, is there an issue there?
No, there isn't an issue because,
Trophies.
It will give Ollie, Ollie is still a novice manager, right? We know that. But he's doing incredible work.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to deal with. The European competitions, and the moaning fans and the league position. Just let him concentrate on one thing at a time. And if that is the league position, then maybe he'll get into the Champions League next year. Look, Man United fans and people that are digging at Solskjaer, this isn't the Man United you grew up with. This is a new Man United. The new Man United that requires man glue.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Dawn. It's 3 years in. I have a bit of a gripe with Manchester United and that game. I don't know if you've seen the highlights yet. Did you see the highlights of the PSG game?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jim.
Be honest.
I will be honest. I found out the score driving my kid to the school this morning.
Okay.
I didn't.
So let me explain something that happened to you that really wound me up. Now,
I know Fred got sent off.
Fred got sent off, and that's why I actually want to talk about, because Fred got sent off, and I feel like, I know there's been so much talk about VAR and rules and blah, right? But this is something that goes unnoticed, because I was listening to a podcast where they were reacting to Fred getting sent off. So Fred got sent off.
He did a headbutt.
Yeah, there was a headbutt, and he got a booking for it. And then he did that thing, when your touch is a little bit too long for you, and then you dive in, right?
Yeah, of course. It can happen to anyone.
So he got 2 bookings for each of them, and all the sort of discourse after was that he was like, how did he not get sent off? How did he not get sent off for the headbutt? And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I've just been sort of like slowly kind of shaped into this football fan that watches referee decisions, and it basically has to be about the letter of a law. But they were talking about, well, look, he should have gone for the headbutt. So they're calling it a headbutt, right? But then when they're saying let's be honest, he did gesture his head towards the other player. It's like, that it doesn't matter that you haven't seen it, because it's that stereotypical one player puts his head towards the other one, and then the other one nods it back, right? So one person said he did gesture his head, and then the other one said nudge, right? But then they're using that with the words headbutt, and they're saying he was a lucky boy. Now, if you break down this, right? Right. So it's interesting to hear what you think. If you break this down, right, it's like there's no violence within this, right? And why, if he were to get sent off for the nudging back, surely it's like that there's an aggressor in the initial bringing together of heads, and if that's happening, then that person has to get sent off in this bizarre world that we're living in, where you can't move your head forward.
No, he's so I've just watched it, and that was worse than Pepe's one, I thought. If the guy hadn't moved his face back after he'd antagonised him, then it could have hurt him. But surely they're both as bad.
It's not going to hurt him though, is it? A proper headbutt cannot start with the head on head. A proper headbutt has to be away from the head onto it. We're losing the beauty of a proper headbutt here, and I don't want to see a proper headbutt lost from the game. Do you know what I mean?
Jim, I think this could be a campaign. It's like, let's bring headbutting back.
Bring the headbutt back.
No more weird little gesturing. No more like raising hand to the face. You're allowed. It's allowed. It's a part of the game. Then we don't have to talk about it. There's no controversy anymore, Jim.
Well, I'm just like, what people were getting. So the reason I'm annoyed about this is because of the second booking as well, right? The second booking, yes, his touch is a bit heavy, and then he dives in and he wins the ball. Like, he completely wins the ball. But then again, I'm listening to the punditry on this, and people going, well, look, if you go to ground, then it's on you. What, regardless of if you win the ball or not? I'm like, our minds are being brainwashed into thinking things that are fouls aren't fouls anymore, and everyone's okay with it. It's blowing my mind.
But what was it? Did he won the ball? Was he overzealous? Was there too much? Did he lose control in the tackle?
He's won the ball with the outside of his right foot, running sideways, and then I'm not even sure if obviously the guy kind of goes flying, but he got there first.
Yeah, but you can get through the ball and then go through the player, and that's still a sending off.
But if that's like studs first, then I can sort of live with that, because you're kind of endangering someone. I mean, again, like, are these adults or what? Is this a contact sport or what? But this one, that was like, he got away with it in terms of, like, it was a bad touch and they could have started an attack. But he won the ball, like, all of the ball. I don't get it. Like, what are we watching now? I'm just really lost with it.
I'm surprised that you're getting this angry now. Like, it's been this way for years.
I just feel like the conversation around it's winding me up. That's what I don't get. Like, so if we're going to be so black and white about decisions, which it feels like we are about a lot of things, then if you get the ball and it's not with your studs, how is that a booking and you're getting sent off? I don't get it. I do not understand. Do you think the referee
felt like he made a mistake with the headbutt and thought, I know that doesn't get.
That's not right either, though, is it? Yeah. It's just mad. Sorry.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's become a much softer game, but excellent players are having a more prolonged career, and the long-term health of their bodies and their legs and knees and ankles are improving because the game has become less physical, and that's probably why
you don't believe that. I can hear you talking. You don't believe that.
No, I believe that Ronaldo and Messi have had a longer career because they're protected better.
It's netball. It's drifting to netball now. Someone needs to get hold of this. We need to bring back headbutts and bring back sliding tackles, and that needs to happen now.
You're saying, you said, I'd love to see Messi in the Premier League because he's just a wonderful player. Yeah, he'd be less a wonderful player if people allowed to hack him to bits.
It's not hacking though. If you get the ball, if you completely get the ball, it's like you can't have a proper midfielder anymore.
Maybe we don't need him anymore.
Then I'm out. All right.
I know. Well, this is it. You're upset because if you was a footballer, then your game would be all over the place because that's what you're about, isn't it?
I just think you've got to. How can you not love a good slide tackle where they get the ball? You can't like that. We've got to cherish that, and we've got to cherish and headbutts need to be actual headbutts, not head nudges. These are head nudges. It's nonsense.
We were talking about the Eric Dyer challenge on who was it? On Ramos when England played Spain.
yeah.
And it might have been Spurs versus Real Madrid. I can't remember. And he just did a completely unnecessary. England-Spain, an unnecessary slide tackle to win the ball with, and it was going to go nowhere. But it was just, I'm letting you know I'm here.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna have a moment's notice with me about.
We're gonna lose all physicality from the game.
Yeah,
it breaks my heart because I'd say there's nothing like a good. Maybe that's an English thing. There's nothing like a proper walloping slide tackle. He took the lot, and the crowd goes rah because he got the bloody ball. Because this is my space because I got the ball first. Did Dyer get carded for that, apparently? It says in the chat. Right.
Did he?
Yeah.
He didn't touch him. He literally didn't touch him.
I do remember it, though. Vaguely.
I watched it yesterday.
Okay. Are we ready? Quote of the pod. If you missed last week's pod, which some people did because we had a bit of a nightmare with the live that we were trying to do, apologies for that. It was a good pod. Very good pod. We're talking about Maradona and all sorts. Quote of the pod. Matt Rimmer says, how's he so good looking? His dad's Butters. I think that was me. I said that one. Harvey Laporte quoted the pod: "When you walk towards her, just spit on her foot and walk away." I think that was you. And Devang Shah, where's he gone now? That was definitely me.
What do we need to add contacts?
No, go back and listen to the last one. You're missing out on gold here. Comment of the week. We've got quite a few good comments, so I just want to see if any of these pique your interest, Flav. So here we go. Mm-hmm. First of all, we had everyone checking in. Now, can I know we're saying make sure you check in. Will J just checking in again from Bogota. Amazing.
Bogota. Where's that? That's South America somewhere.
Bizarrely, I've been to Bogota twice, and I don't rate it.
What? Where is it?
It's in Colombia.
So
surprised you haven't been.
I'm desperate to go. Believe me, Colombia and Bolivia and Peru. Jeez. Anyway,
yeah. Another conversation for another time. Matt Moss just checking in. Never commented before. Love the pod, lads. Thank you, Matt Moss. Tom C. The door was wedged open, so I thought I'd just check in and let everyone know I'm okay. However, I was the last chief of police for the One for the Weekend podcast, and all of a sudden, you changed the name of the podcast, and I'm out with no warning. Where is the process we had of an election, and more importantly, where is the justice? I reject the authority of this new police force and shall be rallying support from the OGs to overthrow them. Viva la One for the Weekend. Now this, we will need to give a bit of a context. Last week, we read out the comment that Denza, he wasn't happy with the comment section. He said there was a bit too much negativity there, and that he was becoming sheriff of the comment section now, and he was taking charge. Now, Tom C.
If someone says something negative or digs us out or digs someone else out, the rest of the community come to him and say, look, let's keep this nice. Just less of that. It's just very simple.
Yeah. Less of that, more of that as well. If you're feeling, if it's good vibes. And Tom C was the original back in the day, and he wants to be involved. So I feel like I'm happy to have a new re-election. Although I would say, where have you been, Tom?
I'd say make them fight each other.
Yeah. Head nudge battle. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Tom C, get in the comments. Let us know what you would do in terms of policing the comments and get them back on track. And Denza, put forward your manifesto as well. We will choose one next week. One thing I will say, the just checking in's great. It does make my job harder, and I feel like people are losing focus from the top quality comments that they do often put in. So I'm part of me's going, can we stop checking in? I don't know. That seems harsh. I don't know.
Help, Jim.
Yeah, just make sure you retain focus. Just check in. You can just check in. That's fine. But also, don't lose sight of the you guys putting in funny comments that make bits work.
The solution, Jim. I've got the solution. We don't want you to just check in. You say check it in, and then you post.
Yeah.
Then you say something that we can use in the podcast next week. Because without your comments below, right, out your ideas about football, mad shit you're seeing, things you want us to talk about, your questions, there is no show. Because it's much easier doing it this way, and we need you. So check in, then give us the gold. If
such an honest point there. There is no show without you guys because it's easier when you do the work. It's true.
But it's better. This is the only podcast on the internet
where you write the script.
It's about you. What do you want us to talk about? What do you write the script?
Okay. Tom C, Denza. There could be a new sheriff in town. We'll soon find out. Denza, you carry on doing what you're doing, mate, for now, because Tom C has been, he's gone AWOL.
Strip them both naked. Cover them in oil, and let them go.
Put them head to head, and see who can nudge the most. Or headbutt.
Let them go.
MP, just checking in. Been re-listening to previous podcasts recently whilst at work. Keeps me going throughout the day. Got told off for having my headphones in whilst working. Should have told the manager that I need to hear about which football club is which element. Anyway, took the headphone out, waited half an hour, and then pod straight back on. Cheers, lads. Great work. MP.
Good work.
Dean Connor, just checking in. I'll be honest, I really like the periodic table bit. Seeing it glossed over as a poor segment that we won't going back to, let's not talk about it, makes me feel a little muggish. Anyway, keep it coming. I'll always remember the periodic table segment favourably. Well, that's great. You remember last week we had, I can't remember who exactly it was, but they were talking about the African Champions League final. Do you know the score? You said you were going to know the score. Do you know the score?
Zamalek versus Al Hayy. Mm-hmm. The score was 2-1 to Al Hayy.
Correct.
Well, unfortunately for the young man, I couldn't remember who he wanted to win. So
he wanted Zamalek to win.
Because I know that now. But
okay. Have you seen the goals though? If I encourage anyone to go on YouTube, just search it, because there's the equalising goal and the winning goal is are absolute screamers for a game that's as big as it was. The winner was in the 85th minute, and the guys sort of ran onto the ball, like flicked it up, and then volleyed it into the top corner. It's madness.
I'm going to watch it while we do this pod.
Well, I'm
going to watch the whole 90 minutes.
Really? Farhad Vajad, he was, I think, oh God, I'm scared to say which country it was, but you asked him to do a paragraph on a country. Can you remember that?
No, kind of.
I'm scared to say it. Anyway, because I don't want to get it wrong. He said, Mido now works as a sports pundit, and in each sentence, he mentions the word Zlatan. Apparently just shot someone in. It did make me think, what are the go-to players or clubs that they talk about, the pundits out there in the game right now? Like when I was at whatever. Like Genus never talks about Newcastle. Only ever talks about Spurs.
So true. Well, he played most of his career at Tottenham, but he was like this styler, like at Newcastle. And he should, but he doesn't. But you know what? He's the worst when he's commentating on Tottenham games for BT Sport. I just cannot have that on. I'll watch a stream.
Really?
I have BT Sport. Yeah, he's awful. Well, he's not awful. He's just, oh wow, that is a great goal.
It's a fella, isn't it?
Right.
Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it a black guy scored it?
Yeah, black guy smashed.
Oh, that's the equaliser.
Oh, what? So the two of these?
There's another belter on its way. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
He's just quite critical, really. But
here's another one for the comments, right? Because you know there's certain things that once you've heard them and they've annoyed you, you can't unhear them. I've got two for you. So any QPR fans, first of all, got a commentator who we've got a player called Johan Barbe, and he has to say Barbe. It's so annoying.
What, have you got a problem with English people pronouncing names?
No, but it's like, just say Barbe, like Barbe. Come on,
Barbe.
It rolls the R in it. And the other one with Jermaine Genius, who I actually like. I think he's good, but he says the word areas. He says in these sort of areas. He says areas quite strangely, and he says it a hell of a lot. He says areas a lot.
I've got a mate who doesn't pronounce L's. Just doesn't. He's instead of saying goal, he goes go. He's
go.
Go. He's just it doesn't matter where he's from.
What does he call you then? All right, Fave. All right, Fave. All good.
Flav. He does. He goes Flav. Oh, what a goal. And we say to him, why don't you pronounce your L's? And he's just like, I don't know.
Acazette. If that Acazette scores.
Can I just say something about Mido? Because I was lucky enough to sit down with him for half an hour in a really plush restaurant.
If you tell the same story you told a week ago.
Did I?
You told the story on last week.
What, about him mentioning Zlatan?
Oh, not mentioning Zlatan. It was about a charger.
Oh, not that. That was a rubbish story.
Yes, it was.
In a half an hour interview in which I didn't really mention Ajax, he brought Zlatan up about 4 times.
Right.
When they played together, they played.
That's a mad little front two. That who did they play together for?
He would play. He played for what are you talking about, for Ajax?
Oh, Ajax, yeah.
Oh, I thought he was. Oh, yeah. I didn't know where he was getting at then. Yeah, Ajax. He played up front with Ajax. That team was incredible. Included very, very young Van der Vaart as well. I think it did actually. And it was Ibrahimovic when he was 18. Mido was 18. Now the two, it was Mido was the one that they thought was going to go on and do the bits. But this manager came in and they kept playing Mido on the left wing and Ibrahimovic up front. Anyway, it was fascinating.
Ibrahimovic is still a joke. He's banging, and I'm getting to the point. I'm like, is he a lion? Is he actually a lion? Because he's 39, like, and still like banging in goals for AC Milan. They're like 5 points clear at the top of the league. He's amazing.
Is he 39?
Yeah, I think he's 39. I might be wrong. Oh no, maybe he's not. Why have I got 39? Maybe he's 36.
He's 39.
Is he 39? Wow.
He was born a month after me.
A lion.
He keeps himself in good shape, doesn't he?
That's probably a little man compliment, alpha male compliment. Keep yourself in good shape there. I'll see.
Is he playing every game for AC?
Oh, he's playing. Yeah, mate. He's the lightning rod. He's everything. He's amazing. Yeah, he's absolutely tearing it up. It's amazing.
That is incredible. Shit, he's got 10 goals this season in 6 games.
That's what I'm saying.
39.
Mate, he is a lion. Zlatan is a lion.
They're in the Europa League as well. We're favourites. What's that all about?
Could be taking on Man United soon. Jake Brown, just checking in for the first time ever. I'm a 19-year-old sports coach from Scotland. Fairly new to the pod, as I've only been watching for a few months, loving Flav's consistent shithousery. We were eligible to go back into work a few months ago. I don't know why this guy's written this. I love it. I don't think this is great podcasting. I just don't. I don't know why he's written it down. Anyway, we were eligible to go back into work a few months ago because of the lockdown restrictions. I bought my own equipment, which I use. The other day, I lost a single blue cone at one of my football clubs. Now I only have 19 instead of 20. Space, enter. Sorry, it's gone down 2 lines. Then he's written the word fuming. Then he's gone down another 2 lines. He's gone, I've now told the kids not to return next week, as they should be thinking about what they've done. Shameful. He lost the cone. That's 1 cone. I love it.
Think about what you've done. I like that. Tell us stories that don't really make much sense. Tell us good stories that don't make much sense.
That's sure. Yeah. If this podcast was a comment, that would be it. Because it's kind of about football, but it's got nothing to do with football. Calm take. I've got a few calm takes I can run through on Twitter as well, but this one was in the comments. This really calm take, like this one from Mr. Nathan Mister. He says calmly, if Spurs win the league, I will donate £300 to any charity Flav chooses. As an Arsenal fan, I accept that one day in my lifetime it will happen. Very calm. But I can't accept that it'll happen this year because, 1, he calmly stated in numbers here, Spurs are the thing I hate most in the world. Their stadium looks like a toilet. Their fans are grime. Gareth Bale's face makes me want to claw my eyes out with a spoon. And most importantly, 2, it can't happen with Jose as manager. Poch, I could have accepted because I liked him as a manager in person, but Jose is a special sort of cunt. Every time I see his stupid face on the TV advertising a betting company, I think, wow, what a sellout twat. They'll do their usual thing, get 3/4 of the way and mess it up, Spurs it up, you could say. Jose will lose it and halfway through next season will be sacked. The only way I can accept Spurs winning the league is if they get all the way through the season, drawing every single game apart from when they lose 3-0 to the Arsenal. So it's boring and tedious. Then on the eve of the last game, Jose will... Jesus Christ. Jose has a heart attack. Not fatal. I don't hate him that much. The only manager available is Arsene Wenger. He wins the last game, claims the trophy over Jose, and leaves the club the day after. Yes, I do love Arsenal, but I love Arsene just as much. And Spurs fans would hate it a little bit. F-U-C-K Spurs, but I love you, Flav. Calm take there from Mr. Nathan Mister.
I'll take. Just give me the £300 if we win the league.
You're right. So is that your chosen charity? Is you?
Yes. I want the £300. Thanks.
Okay.
What do you want me to say to that?
I just thought it was a really good calm take. Just well thought through.
Good. Look, Spurs have a chance of winning the league. You know, it's not like the way I read that was like he's worried. He's scrambling around.
He's lost.
Trying to reconcile this stuff. A little bit lost. He's a little bit lost. Like it's.
Do you know what it is? I'm not sure he's lost. He's standing in the exact same spot he was, but he doesn't know where to turn. Very different.
He's standing in the same spot and he's looking around, and everything he used to know just doesn't quite. He's like got early onset dementia. He's not quite sure what's going on anymore, even though he's in the exact same place he was before.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing to say?
I don't know.
He's basically like my nan. You know, she died from it, so I think I've got license to say that. Although she wasn't bloody night in my
I think people know you're not meaning to say anything too hard. Carry on.
Yeah, so he's got dementia, right? And he's like,
right. Okay, we're carrying down the road. Actually, there was an out. Bring him back to football, Flav. No. You say what you want to say. Bring him back to football.
He's lost.
Just send your text, Flav. Just check your phone. Bring him back to still getting a couple of things here. Just stop it.
So
do you know what happens? Most pods actually at the end, I go halfway through. I think, oh god, and then someone's gonna see this, and I think, nah. At the end, I'm like, it's right in the middle of it. It'll be fine. No one's got this far.
No brand's watching through all of this.
No one's got to what are we on? No one's got to 30 minutes into this. Surely not.
But this is a difficult time for Arsenal fans, right? Because, and look, I know full well we're going into this game at the weekend, and Arsenal could beat us. It's North London. It's not a North London derby. Tottenham are playing the scum. That's the name of this game. Can everyone stop saying North London derby, please? Not a North London derby. If it was Spurs versus Barnet, that would be a North London derby. Right now, this game is called Tottenham Hotspur play the scum. That's how Sky Sports should report it. That's how you should report it, not North London derby. So they could come. The scum could come to the lane and
they'll turn up.
Yeah, and they will turn up and they'll play a different game. And I bet that they surprise a few. Do you know what I mean? They'll come out and start playing football and attacking and going for it, which ironically probably isn't the best way to do this at all. I think their current tactics will serve them much better than trying to open up against Tottenham, because then it's anyone's game.
Let's do it now, because I'll get to derby games, but somehow we've unlocked Pandora's box, which is football chat. And so when it comes to this game, I'm intrigued by that, because I agree with you, because the way that you've played and done well in the last couple of games has been against teams where you're kind of defending, being careful, having a good defensive attitude, having good defensive shape, and then, allowing your good players to do well in transitions. Arsenal, they're not going to have a go at you, really, are they?
You wouldn't, based on what you've seen so far, you wouldn't think so.
So
they have to upset something.
So this is where I'm kind of. I can honestly, it feels like, when those games in a tournament where it's like there's 20 minutes left and the other game's like pretty much finished and they just need to get a draw and they're both through. I feel like there could be this like weird standoff, a bit like the Chelsea game the week before, but Chelsea had a bit more of a go at it. Do Arsenal, for the first time, not the first time, probably the first time, because even when you've been, battling out over the last couple of seasons, Arsenal still had the players and the confidence to take you on. For the first time, is Arsenal completely just hoping for a draw in this game? Feels like they might be
14th in the league. We're top. Like, it's a complete role reversal. This is, in terms of where we're at, both teams are at. This is what it used to be like almost through the entire duration of the 90s and early 2000s, where we'd be languishing around in anywhere between 14th and 10th. And then we go into this game, and at best we could hope for a draw, but typically we get done. Now, the only difference is that we haven't been in this position long enough to see those results happen. But if it follows the same pattern as it did then we should be beating them handedly. And that's, I'm not confident. I never would be confident about this game. But on paper, there isn't many out there that would pick Arsenal for it, and that's a fact.
It's mad, isn't it? The one thing I would say is they're like, someone made, and guys in the chat, if you've got a calm take, if you can help Arsenal out at all, because I know, like, obviously we're having Flav on this, there's always going to be that like gentle bias, and then generally like the piranhas are out. Piranhas? I said it right. Piranhas are out for Arsenal at the moment because they can't score goals currently. But I did see someone saying, and I think I had it on these. I think I had it on Twitter. I had some calm takes here. Someone saying that actually Arsenal they're only 5 points off fifth. 5 points off fifth, which is kind of where you expected them to be. So if they beat you guys, there's a chance they could be, pretty much close to being sort of 8th, 9th, and then they're like a couple of points off. A bit like Man City, like 2 weeks ago, we were saying they're an absolute mess. I think the problem I'm starting to have with Arteta is I think he had a really good plan, but it's a plan that's overall is quite negative. And now he hasn't either got the squad or the dexterity in terms of creating different ways of playing to find a new way of scoring goals. And because a lot of people talk about he's now finally, he's now kind of getting dragged into the sort of criticism that some Spurs fans were saying that he should have been getting this a little while ago. But I've generally thought, I could see he's obviously quite diligent, he's smart, he likes to communicate with his players, all these things. But it feels like there's only one way that he believes this team can play well. Would you agree?
Of course, yeah, he believes in it. He knows what you would assume that he's got a long-term plan, and that while the results are not part of it, the way the team is set up and the players are following his instruction, then that fits into what he wants from them. They are playing differently than they did under Emery. They're playing differently than I've ever seen them play before, really. So that's a part of his influence. The worry about it is that he's been in the job a year. He's not 3 months in. And they were playing better last year than they are this year. And the problem isn't with them being 5 points off top 4. The problem is they scored 1 goal in 500 minutes of football. They have the lowest, was it goal scored? One of the lowest goals scored in the league. And that's not what Arsenal fans, that's not what the Premier League and the media are used to seeing from them. So I think that Arteta will be given as much time as he needs, providing they're not threatened with relegation. And as Roy Keane says, they should be good enough to stay up. But
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with the idea that you can't, because what happens with managers is you get whatever hasn't worked. People go, oh, what's the opposite? And with Emery wasn't a bad manager. I don't think he was able to communicate his ideas well enough. That seems to be the story that came out a lot of the time. So he wasn't able
I don't think they respected him, There was a lot of Aubameyang undermining him, and they're taking a piss out of him, and the media taking a piss out of him constantly. For a man who's won more than most managers ever will, who run the game, it was very disrespectful. Just come up for treble at PSG, which, as we've seen this season, isn't the easiest thing to do, although it's probably one of the easiest things in football management to do. He's third in the league with Villarreal. He was inherited a massive project at Arsenal and probably should have been given more time. But in his native country, he's done brilliantly. Yeah. He won Europa League 3 times on the bounce with Sevilla, wasn't it? So,
that's it. I mean that, but my point is that I don't think I still don't think it's a bad managerial decision to bring him in, but it's obviously it's the opposite. You want QPR did it with managers. Warnock went out and they were like, oh, we want someone a bit more glamorous, who actually was legitimately at the time Mark Hughes. I know. That failed. Then they were like, we need someone who's been there and done it. Harry Redknapp, get him in. Right, Harry Redknapp's in for a bit. Then Harry Redknapp, he's just old and he doesn't care about the youth. We need to sort that out. Chris Ramsey comes in because Chris Ramsey's brings through youth players. It's just then he goes and we need someone who's kind of on his way up. Hasselbank, someone that's someone has a bit more experience. Hasselbank comes in. Hasselbank's too boring. Well, we need someone with a bit of passion. Holloway comes in. Well, Holloway's a bit too much passion, isn't he? We need someone who's tactically brilliant. Steve McLaren. It just swaps around to what the one thing that you're missing each time. So with this one, with Emery, they've gone with someone who I reckon in the interview process, or the one before as well, which you might have spoken to him before, they've gone, oh, he's a great talker. He's got a lot of the sort of the outer shell of what you want from your manager. The question I'm putting forward now, which we will find out as the games go on, is that Mourinho, I think, is getting a lot more respect now, because I think we're now understanding that he's got the shell and he actually has the strategy to build a team and make it better and make it win games, regardless of if their squad is better than the opposition. For Arteta, I think everyone understands and has appreciated for a while that the squad's okay, and people like Thomas Partey coming back in the team will be obviously massive for them. And he's got the outer shell, but can he find a new way of winning games, and winning games that on paper he shouldn't be winning? That's the new test for him, because they have to kind of he needs to do that, like a Brendan Rodgers would do that with say, Leicester. Yeah, Claude Puel was there, wasn't doing anything. Then he comes in and improves them and continues to improve them, and then the investment comes in after that. Like, that's what he needs to do between now and the end of the season, in my opinion.
What investment? I think that there's this idea that Arsenal need to spend and improve their squad. They spend huge amounts on their squad. They have spent huge amounts on their squad.
I agree with that. I don't think that's his fault. I think he's like.
No, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
They're good enough to be better than
it's not your fault.
Doing better than they are. Much good enough. Like, I think a lot of people. I'm only giving him grace because I don't think he'll be sacked. I think they're banking on him and providing that they might be okay with a mid-table season just to see it through and see what he can do next season. Because I feel like they what do they do if they sack Arteta? It's like completely back to the drawing board in the same sort of fashion that you described at QPR. But he should be doing better. 14th in the league after a quarter of the season gone. For any team, top 6 team, most managers, if they've been there a year, would be sacked.
I mean, it's one of their worst starts since 81, 82.
Let's play that game again, Jim.
How many games?
How many games in a losing streak would it take for Arteta to be sacked from this point?
From his 14th at the moment.
Yeah.
I think
if he lost the next.
Let's see what his fixtures are. Let's get his fixtures up. Whilst we're looking at that.
Right, can I just break down what while you looking at, right? I just want to break down Arsenal's spend on salaries at the moment, right? We'll start with Gabriel Martinelli, 19-year-old kid, 90,000. Mustafi, 90,000 a week. Socrates, 92,000. Granit Xhaka, 100. Pepe, 100. Kolasinac, 100 grand for him. David Luiz, 100 grand. Bellerin, 110. And now it goes crazy. Lacazette, 180 grand a week. Willian, 190 grand a week. Thomas Partey, £250,000 a week. And Aubameyang's 250 and 400 if you include his bonuses. And Mesut Ozil was not playing 350 grand a week. That's why they've got no money. That's why they've not been able to go out and splash in the transfer market.
But I mean, it's pretty poor recruitment, isn't it? But I get
pretty poor, yeah.
Very, very poor. Here's another question I want to ask. So forget those wages for a second. Just look at the squad. Question for the chat: how many squads are better than Arsenal's squad right now? I'd love to know what people think of that, because often we do kind of go, well, this is Arsenal or this is Man United, but look at the players and look at the squad, look at the depth. How many teams are above them now? I think Man City, Man United, I think Spurs, Chelsea, those other 5, that's 5. After that, are there any other squads that you think are better than this Arsenal squad at the moment? Come back to your question, Flav. So the games are Spurs, then they've got Burnley, Southampton, Everton, Chelsea.
So if they lost those 3...
If they lost the 3 in the middle, if they lose the next 5, he's gone, isn't he?
Of course! That would have lost it. That would have been losing... That would have been 8 on the bounce. You can't... No one can lose... Doesn't matter how good your plan is. You can't lose 8 games on the bounce. If they lost the next 5, they would be rooted in the relegation zone. Yeah,
well, that's it. Often it's that. It's like if you drop into the relegation zone, and then this is like I'm just being an absolute hypocrite. This is Arsenal. I'm getting back to what I've said there. Like they're going to the relegation zone like in December. Wow.
Look where you are at the end of December is pretty much more or less where you end up at the end of the year, end of the season rather. So
Rap Summer says less than 9 points in the next 5. He's gone. Less than 9 points.
Wow, that's not even losing streak. Less than 9 points. He's gone. The thing is, while that sounds harsh, if he only pulls 7 out of the next 5, that's not enough. That's nowhere near enough. That means the top 4 will be absolutely acres away, and then you'd be looking. I don't know.
The problem is as well. The problem, and I don't want to do this, but
you know what's going to happen now? They're going to go and fucking beat Spurs.
Yeah, they're going to beat you. Yeah. But the problem is, the Spurs. That's a derby. That's a nightmare game. Especially at the moment. Burnley could go. Come on, then break us down. And then that's going to really piss people off if you don't win that one, if you don't score against Burnley. Southampton are actually a very good team.
They're an excellent team. Everton away is not tough. A nice place to go. That's tough.
And then you got Chelsea.
Then Chelsea and Man City as well. Don't forget, like I know that's League Cup, but losing these games, even in the League Cup, is absolutely cancerous to Arteta's position.
Can I make a horrible prediction? Do you know what, there's a game there.
Brighton after that, though. Brighton are a very good side, right. Underrated.
So with that in mind...
By Brighton, he'll be gone.
Well, Neil Maupay gets him sacked.
Yeah.
Can see it happening, can you? You could see it happening. I mean, I hope not.
Yes.
But I like him. I quite like him.
Fuck him.
In terms of squads, you guys have written in the chat. Thank you very much. Sugar Paddy says City, United, Chelsea, Spurs, Wolves, Leicester, maybe Everton. Dennis Cregan agrees about Leicester is a better squad. Rab Summers, Southampton. Is that a better squad? Not sure about that one. Villa.
Well, this is the thing. He's doing better stuff. He's doing better stuff. Hasenhutl's doing better with Southampton with a lesser squad than Arteta is. Like, what does that tell you?
Interesting. You're so going to lose now, aren't you?
Yeah, we are now.
We'll lose. Right, derby games.
Can I just say one more thing? Have you heard of Jose Mourinho's 7 winning principles? This is taken from Guardian newspaper. He wrote an article. No. It's really interesting. I think you might be interested in this. Number 1, the game is won by the team who commits the fewer errors. Number 2, football favours whoever provokes more errors in the opposition. Number 3 is away from home. Instead of trying to be superior to the opposition, it's better to encourage their mistakes. 4, whoever has the ball is more likely to make a mistake. 5, whoever renounces possession reduces the possibility of making a mistake. 6, whoever has the ball has fear. And 7, whoever does not have it is thereby stronger. It's a bit depressing, isn't it?
Really depressing. I was thinking, read that again, but it's 2018 and he's manager of Man United. Go on. You read that differently, don't you? Your intonation is completely different, isn't it? Read it again. Just read a couple of them again.
The game is won by the team who commits the fewest errors. Whoever has the ball has fear. Whoever does not have it is thereby stronger. Whoever has the ball is more likely to make mistakes.
He's a dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur, but he's top of the league. He's won 22 games.
Okay. Speaking of games...
Arteta likes to have the ball a lot. 14th in the league. Who's a dinosaur?
Arteta, I wouldn't call him a dinosaur. He's struggling. No doubt about that. Derby games, which I might call it the... we need a statue for Smith because he's so good at this. The Smith... Do we sponsor... He's not sponsored by Smith. The Smith Derby games section. Something like that. I need a name for it. The guy's unbelievable. He kicks us off. In what was actually, I'm going to be honest, Derby games was a poor week this week. But stick at it. Smith, West Ham versus United is the... Michael Carrick was underrated. Trust me. If you saw him play week in, week out, you'd have appreciated him. Derby. Very good. Smith. He was so underappreciated, wasn't he? Although a bit like Giroud. Everyone's talking about Giroud at the moment. I tweeted that. I was like, "What's the truth here?" Like, he's so good. You got to play him. You got to know if Giroud was playing. Giroud hasn't started for a top team for 6 years, or whatever it bloody is. So he can't be that good.
I think he's good.
I mean, he is good, and he scored 4 goals. That's pretty good, isn't it? Against Sevilla.
That is good. I mean, that's good and bad. That's good.
I'm just confused by him. And I wonder if he's
given a chance by managers. That's the only confusing thing. He should go to a club like lessen himself. Go to a club where he's going to play, and he will bag you across the season 20 goals in all competitions if he plays.
Where does he start? Who's he like? I can't.
He would start at.
Only turns up around near January though, doesn't he?
He's not had any opportunities at Chelsea. He's never been a starter there, and he's been there 3 years. So
I think as well, with Chelsea, they're never going to be. They're generally going to be playing against teams in their third. So actually, you do need a penalty box poacher like Olivier. He's banging in the goals, underappreciated. Brighton versus Southampton is the Big Six patronise us by saying we play some decent stuff down there after we lose to them, Derby. It's true, isn't it? So
I guess it is patronising, but you're surprised, aren't you? Because Brighton have always just been Brighton, but under Graham Potter, Brighton are not the Brighton.
They're Brighton now. Brighton early.
New Brighton.
Yeah. The thing is that's probably why they lose those games against the top six as well. So they're trying to encourage it on. They're going, they had a real go. They had a real go, and they can be proud of themselves for that. But that's actually why they create the mistakes, especially if you're looking at Mourinho's 7 principles. Marcus Jones, Chelsea versus Leeds is the based on managerial merit, our managers should be at the opposite club. Derby. No respect for Lampard. When will it arrive? He's doing quite a good job, isn't he?
Who?
Lampard.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
Okay. Aris Stamakos, Sheffield United versus Leicester. During one season, they were everyone's second team derby. Sheffield United, that was last year, I think. And Leicester, of course. They were your second team, weren't they? 2016 season.
Yeah.
What a great year.
It's mad, isn't it, how shit they're doing now, Sheffield United. It's weird. It's like they've given up on his... Because your first season, everyone's up for it, and Premier League, let's run it ourselves into the ground. Second season, novelty wore off, and you're like, oh, fuck, I just don't have the energy. We don't have the quality. Let's just go back down.
It's so true. I think Rory called it, didn't he? Rory called Sheffield United. And I've got to say, there are some things that stats can't arrive you at. Only experience and understanding the experience, understanding the ebb and flow of the football pyramid will allow you to kind of call out. And I wanted to back Wilder, I think maybe that was I was just hoping that, he'd still have it in him, but they are starting to really struggle now.
Take him at QPR?
Oh, God, yeah. Although I really like Warburton. We got absolutely done last Friday against Brentford, by the way. It was an absolute joke. The ref completely bottled it. I was fuming. We got players going through on goal. He gets completely shoved, and he got shoved before the penalty box because the guy knew he was about to get in there and have a shot. He's through on goal, and he gets booked. The letter of the law, because my dad found this out and told me about it, he said the player must, the word must is in there, be sent off. And we lost that game.
Well, Todd Kane got sent off, so...
Later in the game, though. The butterfly effect. It's butterfly effect. You've got to give us these moments.
Tony's funny.
He's
good.
He's good, yeah. He's very tall as well. Very tall.
Would you... How do they... I know we talk about this all the time, but how do they keep doing this? They find better strikers than they had before than the lower divisions. Like, Ivan Toney will probably end up as a better striker than Mupai and Ollie Watkins, probably. Buy him now. Let's just go in, Spurs, go in and buy him right now because they've found another one.
You don't need him.
I know, but just buy him.
Yeah.
His career.
He's he's good. He is good. Is he any better than those other guys? I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. He didn't do much else, although he's got a great knack of banging in the goals. He got man of the match, didn't deserve it. We got robbed in that game. We got absolutely robbed. It's a disgrace. No, let's move on.
I don't know what he's football, innit? It happens.
I'll tell you what, we'll be here on Thursday when you should have when Arsenal should have had a player sent off, and you'd be saying it's going to be completely different. So.
Of course, but I don't know what to say. Jim, it happened last
Friday. Just let me have it. Why are you arguing with me?
I haven't seen it. I can't.
So then didn't say it's right.
That's all right. I'll put the highlights on when we're doing.
No, I don't want you to watch it. Do not watch it. I don't want you to watch it. I want you to agree with me.
Look.
It's a disgrace. Say it's a disgrace.
Let me give you a provisional agreement. Yeah. And sorry, excuse me. I'll give you a provisional agreement. Let me watch it, and I'll readjust. Okay.
There's nothing to. I mean, I've just told you the letter of the law, but whatever. George Ware's cousin. Burnley versus Everton is the last of the proper old-fashioned stadium's derby. Incorrect.
Is that
Loftus Road?
That the George Ware's cousin?
No. It's at Luke SR. It's not.
Right. So he just nicked his account.
West Brom versus Crystal Palace is the we pass mediocre British managers between each other to maintain survival. The derby. Probably true. Although they haven't done it for a little while. And you've actually got a Croatian, so it doesn't work. I hope you like Gabamin too. This week, This is like a new level of. We're getting a bit. This is the first time I've gone. Maybe we've reached the end of this. Because this guy said, this week we have the double Man versus Food derby, as Man United and Man City take on the hams of West and Full. Christ.
It's a reach.
That's a reach, isn't it? Man versus Food derby. I kind of like it. I'm kind of like, what am I doing with my life? But yeah, well done. And Hazoodle, I don't know if this is harsh or not, but it made me chuckle. Leicester versus Sheffield United is the managers who don't appear to have lips derby.
That's true.
Okay. And Karan says Burnley versus Everton is the Peaky Blinders derby. Hard English guy versus a smart Italian with a scary looking assistant. Well done. Very good. I miss Peaky Blinders so much. It's not going to be back for another year. Heartbreak.
I know, 2021.
Right, we keep on trucking. Wow. Mad takes. Didn't get these last week because Flav wanted to have a cigarette. Didn't want to do it on my own. Josh Cow, just checking in. Mad take. So this is so let us know in the comments when you've heard someone say something, you've just gone, wow, that is stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Mad take.
Loads.
A bloke I went to school with once said, he said, imagine Terry, Lampard and Gerrard in the same team. That's good because, of course, played for England together.
Not mad take, though, is it? It's just stupid.
It's bad take.
Bad take.
Peter McGrath, my Man United fan mate, said they were champions of Europe after they won the Europa League in 2017 because the Champions League final was 3 days later. He was adamant that they were champions of Europe for those 3 days. I'm okay with that.
There is a certain logic to that.
Yeah.
But, see, that's the kind of... And he was adamant, seriously, is we are the champions of Europe. It weren't like he was there's an element of joking about it. He was no, we are.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah, I like that. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I used to do this in the playground. QPR were in League Division 2 at the time. And they had, it was in I think it was in November, and they had a show called Britain's Brainiest Footballer. And Clark Carlisle won. He was a QPR player at the time. And I was like, how many trophies has your club won this year? I was doing it all the way up to May. So you haven't won anything though, have you? You haven't won anything. So I've got Britain's Brainiest Footballer over here. Trophies. The only thing I would say as well is, here's a question. So Liverpool, right? Champions of Europe. And then they got knocked out to Atletico Madrid. And then it was ages to the Champions League. Are they still champions of Europe? Or do you have to, does that stop once you're knocked out?
Yeah. And it makes Atletico Madrid interim champions of Europe because they've beaten the guys. So, like in boxing, you have an interim title if someone's injured. So we don't know who the champion is. We don't know when they're coming back. We don't know who it could be. So you have an interim champion, which just is a placeholder until the actual champion. So we'd say Atletico Madrid are
they interim champions because they knocked them out?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Interim European champions. Speaking
of boxing, Tyson Fury, Seaman Sports personality, saying, don't vote for me, I don't want to win it. Have you seen that?
No.
So he said, I don't need awards I know I'm the people's champion, blah, blah, blah. Is that necessary? He's saying, I don't need trophies. Although you do, so you are fighting for the heavyweight championship though, aren't you? And you are looking to kind of win all the belts, right? So you care about the belts. I don't know, I just thought it was a bit muggy, Tyson Fury. He's just basically soiled the whole year of BBC sports personality, because if he wins it, he's going to apparently go, I don't want it. And if someone else wins it, they'll go, well, you only won it because all of Tyson Fury's fans didn't vote for him. I think that lacked a bit of class.
Why is Jordan Henderson nominated?
Not. Well, he got Player of the Year, didn't he?
The Premier League's worst ever captain.
According to Adam McKay.
Remember, that was we used to, behind the curtain a little bit, you'd often get approached by often betting companies, to be honest. And they'll come to you and say, can you just say something mental so that everyone goes crazy on the internet and our brand gets thrown everywhere? And that was the one. Is he the worst Premier League winning captain in the history of sport. And Adam McCullough went, yes, he is.
And if you want to hear more on that, check out AAA. Sorry, I just told it now. Well, that one was AAA.
I think, I mean, I don't know who two of those are. I don't know who the woman is, and I don't know who top left is. Ronnie O'Sullivan plays snooker, so he shouldn't be on it, because snooker's a game, not a sport. And Lewis Hamilton should win it, because he's not only the best F1 driver of all time, he's also done a lot for, the BLM movement, and he's trying to push that forward. So, he's done a lot. I don't know who the woman is, sorry. Tyson Fury is a jockey. So she's gone on a horse.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're giving it to Lewis Hamilton, who's got a superior car than everyone else, if we're playing that game, it's the same thing.
Let's come up with loads of reasons why none of them should win it and cancel the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, it's already been soiled already because of Tyson Fury, unfortunately.
Fury can't win it because of his comments in the past. He's not.
But he's a cut. No, but people love him. He is. I would agree. He's the people's champ. People love him now.
I love him, but as a boxer, he's like the best heavyweight boxer in the world, hands down. When he batters Anthony Joshua, there'll be absolutely nothing else to say. All right, what else we got?
Okay, again. Where are we? Luke Barrett. My mate once said that Liverpool's signing of Thiago will be the best signing of the season, and that his impact will run through the club. Even the reserve goalkeepers and under-21s will be playing better because of the signing of Thiago.
Is that was he mean that?
I presume he was serious.
Who said it?
Luke Barrett said it in the comments, but he's saying his mate said it.
Oh, right, his mate said it.
It's fine. It's been ridiculous.
It's stupid.
That's heavy. And last one, Ben Sadari. My late Iranian nan was watching football with us once. When the ref showed a player the yellow card, she called the defender rude for not taking the card off him and walking away.
That's rude.
She's not going to. He's giving him a card there. He's not going to take it. Oh dear. What's the final one? Oh, poor chat. There's someone saying this might be an option for a bit as well. Let us know if this gets off the ground. Get involved in the comments. Don't just check in. Make sure you help us make this fly. Okay, Jordan Foley. I thought this might be good. Hi lads. Oh, actually, I think I've got an example. That's why. Hi lads. Just thought I'd pop my head round. Everything's well with me, and I'm loving the pod. Just got a quick question. What is the weirdest insult you've received on the pitch? Football pitch. Our lads got called catalogue boys for dressing smart. Bearing in mind, our team is mainly made up of 30-year-olds who wear polo shirts and jeans. So catalogue boys, hello. on the pitch, that's hilarious.
Catalogue boys. Getting the reds.
So I've got one. When I was playing for Cobham, who are, from Surrey. It's quite an affluent place, right? I got called posh boy. I got called but I was earning 13 grand at the time as a runner, so I put him in his place because it was like, don't judge me, mate. Don't call me posh boy.
You're from Surrey. You're going to get that, aren't you?
But he's playing for a team in Surrey as well.
Yeah, but you might not be. Was he? I mean,
it wasn't.
It's your voice, isn't it? It's your voice.
You got to do. But I put Cockney Allcott on. I was playing football. Always. Oh, are you calling neck, mate? I'm on 13 grand a year. Running for the stars of Graham Norton and Alan Carr. Right, so I'll throw on.
Mate, the fact that you got paid to be a runner means that you are a posh boy.
That's so stupid, what you just said. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Runners just get run into the ground for no money at all. Like all the runners we had in Ball Street. Like all the runners.
Yeah, no, that's because we were taking advantage of people, not because we had that was actually my official job, right? It was an actual proper job over a long period of time. Like we let people do a week with us. We didn't let them do 9 months.
How long was you running for?
Yeah, 9 months. You weren't allowed to stay longer than 9 months.
And then did you have a job?
I went to 20. I was a runner for 24 hours in A&E. Remember that?
Oh, really? I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Such a depressing show. Did you have to meet all the old grannies that had lost their partners and are now broken?
No, I just got people tea. Yeah, that was the bulk of what I did. It was quite. You do like night shifts and stuff, which was a bit mad. And actually, you had to go in. You had two. What's it called? You had like minors and majors in terms of injuries, right? And you'd have a producer in both wards asking people if you were willing to be on the show and be recorded. And I used to think,
excuse me, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
it was cancer. Good. It's your terminal. Okay, good. Now, can you come on our show, please, and talk about it and get him? Is that your husband? Yeah, get him to cry, and we'll pay you some money.
Well, actually, it was amazing. Like the minors is like, it's an easy one. You go, oh, you broken your arm, have you? Do you want to be on telly? But for the producer who had to have the sort of bedside manner, for want of a better phrase, to be able to approach people and say, look, we are doing this documentary. Are you okay with us? Because we basically had like Big Brother cameras everywhere to film it. Are you okay? Would you be okay with something like this? Like, that's such a scary, exhausting thing to do at like 2 a.m. when someone's come in having been hit by a bus.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder what, like, they have to go back later when they're better to check again, right?
Well, the producers do. That's a good point. Football podcast. On our last ever shift, there was someone who came in who'd been run over by a bus, and their pelvis was a mess, and we were all kind of excited because it was the end of the run, end of the 6 weeks of the show being filmed, and that happened. And we had to, and it was a night shift, so we just finished at like 9:30 or whatever it was. And we had to walk. We just had to walk away, and never know if that person was okay. So it was a really weird end to working on that. It was really horrible, actually, because
it's such a good show and so well made that I can't watch it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I love the 24 Hours in Police Custody. That's my favourite. But
yeah, same production company.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's good. I was going to go straight to a home win. I don't know if I can do that. Right. Yeah. Home win. Governor. This is from a few weeks ago on Patreon. I'll tell you what I'll do. Actually, we'll finish off with a home win. But what we'll do, Birds and That. So here are the comments from Birds and That. So everyone was on tenterhooks last week because it was Sonny's time to shine. He had his party. He was going to maybe do the bio trick, where he was going to take down that tree. Active and Blind said he's thought of a new name for Birds and That, and he says, "Well, how about hopeless love advice? Is the advice hopeless? Is the chance of love hopeless? You be the judge." So he's even got.
I like Lewis' James and Flav community page is slugging loving.
slugging loving. Yeah, that sounds horrible. James in Flav community page. Good luck tonight, Sonny. The community is behind you. I've nicknamed you the Lumberjack because you're going to take this tree down. Have fun, keep calm, and remember everything James and Flav have taught you. Ben Spanton Walker said, all right, lads, just checking in. This podcast has me more invested in the love lives of people I've never met than the people I know. Heartbroken when the stories aren't real. The bio idea is cracking.
What are we doing? What is this anymore?
Who cares?
I love it. I never thought this would be what we do.
On a Thursday, yeah. I mean, look, 2020 is a weird year. Let's just go with it.
Yeah. It's
Ben
true.
Spanton Walker. All right, lads, just checking in. This podcast has me more invested in the love lives of people I've never met, the people I know, heartbroken when the stories aren't real. The bio idea is cracking. If she hasn't seen it and doesn't like it, then Tree Boy may have just been ruined for her. If she's seen and thinks it's funny, she might just not be the one. So you kind of know either way.
You remember what the bio was?
Sorry?
Can't remember.
Second home is the gym. Second home is the gym.
That's right, yeah.
David Hay has a howler in him, and having Jim is my second home in the bio is something like Aurelio Gomez would have done in Spurs days. Dean Henderson's time will come. Sonny, I'm rooting for your fella. Now, I've got a problem because I've reached out to Sonny, and Sonny, I don't know if he's in the chat, but I don't think he is. He's one of our patrons, and he hasn't replied yet, and he hasn't put anything in the comments.
Maybe the tree smashed his face in.
Maybe. I messaged him yesterday saying, what's the latest? So it's a rollover. There's nothing I can add. There's nothing I can add.
Can't make it up.
You can't make... No, I'm honestly not making it up. Because he gave me the reply last time, obviously. But this time we've got nothing. So
we need to know.
Yeah, we need to know. So in place of that... Oh, in place of that, I have got... I've got this one. I've got to say, one more birds in that. AK, the producer... I don't know if I want to read this or not. I've got birds in that question, but I'm going to explain it in football terms. I just want to know what you think about this, Flav. It's quite a long read. I've gone to a new club. He's doing it in a football analogy way. I've gone to a new club, brackets, new sixth form, and I'm already playing well, flirting with a girl who seems to like me. But I feel like Van der Beek. The club is already holding me back, brackets. She looks good, but I feel like I can go for someone better. I don't want to be... Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't want to be Man United in the transfer window, delaying going for a move for a big name, brackets, Sancho, one of the best-looking girls in the year, and then have to settle for an Edison Cavani, a good-looking girl that isn't anything too special and not what I really want. I'm happy at the club, but I feel like I should be more ambitious and really push for the title, and there is a club I have my eye on to do it. This is all over the place, this football analogy. I've got two options. One, staying at the club I feel like is holding me back, brackets, chatting to the girl I'm flirting with now. Two, handing in a transfer request in January in hopes for a move to a title contender, brackets, going for one of the best looking girls in the year. My agent is close to the club, brackets, I've got a mutual friend, I'm lost, a mutual friend, and I'm a pretty good player with decent end product. I'm a good looking guy with decent chat. Right. The comments below were, you don't deserve this girl. You're a disgrace. They weren't friends. They weren't fans of it. So I was wondering what you thought, Flav.
I think, you are coming across like a bit of a cretin. I think that she can do better than you. And
that's kind of what one of the comments were below. I think he's getting a bit lost in the sauce here. I don't want to totally destroy him here.
I'm not going to destroy him. I'm just saying, do leave this girl alone and go and talk to the one you want to talk to. Do not string her along. It's not fair. It's really... Because she might really like you. If you are a good-looking bloke and you do have the chat and she's talking to you, then maybe she does like you. You're not really interested, so you're going to string along until something better comes. Come on, don't be a prick.
Well put. I knew you put it right. And what I would say, mate, is you're probably listening to this going, what? I wasn't... No, I'm a good guy. I'm a good... And I'm sure you are. Just read it again. Read it back.
Take all the sports, the football analogy.
Yeah. Because essentially what you're saying here, mate, is I'm at a new school, and look, I remember that, and the new guy turns up and I go, hang on a minute, is he? He looks pretty average to me, but he's new, so he's exciting. And look, you should enjoy that. You should enjoy that. It's a great free time for you. However, you've basically said in this comment, I'm a pretty big deal, pretty good looking and decent chat. These are your words. And you've said, look, there's this girl. Yeah, she's all right. I don't know what, an 8. I'll give her an 8. But I feel, I know I can do better. So do I just give her the best moments of her life, or do I move on? That's what it sounds like.
I want to see how good looking you are. So
picture of you with a spoon, please.
Yes, please. Send in a picture with a spoon. And I'll happily admit if you are a good looking guy, but it does feel like a little bit like, look, obviously, you could well be a very lovely person, do lovely things and all that sort of stuff. The way you phrased this makes it think that you're not. So, maybe, let's see you with a spoon and we'll take it from there.
Indeed. Dennis Cregan in the chat says, oof. And then he says, I'd like to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but jeez. Right. I'm going to finish off with a home win, and that will be the end of the podcast. What I will say, actually, is I noticed that the James and Flav community page, the James and Flav community page is on, I think it's on 930 followers on Twitter. Or 970, one or the other. Anyway, this guy has been so supportive of us, and whenever I see it, it puts a smile on my face when he puts these out of context bits and pieces together. So it just popped into my mind, and I know you guys who are watching right now, right at the end, or listening right now at the end, you get it, okay? So one thing I would like to do, it'd be amazing if we could get the James and Flav community page, which is run by Louis, and he's very, very supportive for everything that we both do, Flav. If we could get him to 1,000 for Christmas, that would be nice.
Get him to 1,000, and it means a lot to him.
It would. So just get on Twitter and do it. Do it. Hit the follow button. Right, we finish off with a home win. This is from a few weeks ago. This is from Danny Galloway, one of our patrons. Great work from Danny. He's got a long home win, so here it is. And we've finished the pod with this. Right. All right, lads. Still smashing it. Since home wins is back, I thought I'd share one of mine that happened recently, but perhaps more of a work win. I work in an office. Why is he high? I'm going high with it. Well, I work in an office with a lot of people who work early hours. So when I come in around day, everything's turned on and I just sit down and work. So one weekend, I'm on overtime by myself and I go to turn the light on. But when I pull the cord, nothing happens. At this point, I've realised there must be some sort of switch to enable the light to be turned on, which I can't find. After a few minutes of searching, I've spotted this button on the side of the light and gone straight for it. So I stand on the desk and press this button, which to my utter dismay triggers the long office light to fall out of his socket and into my arms as I struggle to keep balance and juggle a fairly heavy light, which was attached to the socket now by only a small string, which didn't look strong. After what seemed an eternity, I fiddled with the socket a bit and flicked a few more things in there and managed to shove this light back in and took a huge sigh of relief, knowing nobody had seen the catastrophe that had unfolded and never mentioned it again. I love the idea that he's just there, he got there early, and then he's just stuck. He's just stuck on a desk holding a light up into the ceiling, just panicking. Anyway.
Wonderful.
Anyway, fast forward 6 months, I've walked into the office at like 8, like any other day. I couldn't believe my eyes. A new member of staff has done the exact same thing as me, but in front of a full office. Who were panicking and discussing calling for an electrician or some sort of professional to fix the issue while not trusting the string, just as I hadn't. Upon seeing this, I've casually put my coat on the rack and walked up to the scene of the crime and confidently said, "There's no need to call anyone. I'll fix this problem." I've taken over the role underneath the dangling office light with all my co-workers watching and easily placed the light back in its bracket just as I'd done months before. Obviously, while I'm up there, I've pretended to fix a few... This is my favourite bit. Obviously, while I'm up there, I've pretended to fix a few things in there while muttering the occasional phrase such as, "Wow, that's a mess." Yeah, and if I just... There we go. Amazing.
That is superb. You know what? In terms of that's a mess.
Mm.
When I had my half-brother's dad's an electrician, and he'd come around to sort something in my old flat, and he'd opened the wires, looked at the wiring because it was like really shoddily put together, and he just went, "Fuck me, that is a mess." Just closed the door.
Just chilling it. I've got to go pick up my I've got to pick up my car from its MOT now.
That's right.
Much. And it's like I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting to get there. He's going to go, oh no. We've got a few problems here. Because he's trying to just hike up the cash on me. Well, hopefully I'll get out of there alive.
Do you trust him?
I don't know him. We'll soon find out. Probably not. I don't trust anyone.
Did you guys trust the traders?
No, I've gone. I need to get it sorted down here, so I've just gone to the local one.
Football
podcast.
They'll be right down there. Like that, they're good people in small little town areas. Good people. They work on reputation. It's just in London where they're all arseholes.
That's true. Right, there we have it. Another podcast. We'll find out if Spurs are still top of the league in a week's time. Best of luck to you, Flav. Best of luck.
Okay, mate.
Best of luck to everyone. Make sure you check in. Sonny, talk to us. Let us know what's going on.
Come back next week. This weekend.
Stoke City.
Oh, because they're doing all right at the moment. They lost recently, but they are doing all right.
They are doing well. Good knowledge, Flav. Yeah, so hopefully we'll smash them up.
Yeah.
Right. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Bye, Jim.
Bye.